Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 8 at Keeneland on opening day Friday. Here's the field for the Phoenix Stakes. It is a grade 2, $250,000 is the purse, potentially a prep for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. The 6 special reserves going to be tough in here for trainer Michael Maker. Coming into this race, Mike, off 3 consecutive triple-digit buyers, and I like that they gave him a little bit of a break after a tough effort in the Vanderbilt.
Yeah, his recent form, especially since Maker has taken over, has just been really, really good. And he's got really nice tactical speed, too, which I think could come into play here. Dan, I mean, if you go back to watch that Vanderbilt, I guess you could say, you know, he had no excuse not to win. He probably got his head in front there about mid-stretch, and then he got outfought to the wire. But that viewing of the race probably doesn't give the actual winner enough credit.
But your point is well taken about his tactical speed as we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. It should be run at a quick tempo, and quick tempo could make the lead from the rail. Special Reserve, Sir Alfred James, these are stalkers on the outside. I think quick tempo is going to make the lead. Just Mike's a little bit of a sleeper, not only from a race standpoint, but from a pace standpoint, because he's fast.
Yeah, that's how I looked at the race too. And I won't be surprised when Special Reserve is right up close early in this race, but I think Just Mike's probably going as well.
Quick Tempo was a stakes winner as a 2-year-old. Let's watch his most recent start, the Rumston at Monmouth. Now, this is a 5/8 of a mile race. He's 4 wide turning into the stretch. He's going to battle it out. Francatelli's a solid horse on the Mid-Atlantic circuit. He's good on turf. He's good on dirt. Quick Tempo just couldn't get to him. It was a much improved performance from his race in the Bing Crosby, where he was way overmatched against Dr. Scheibel. And I guess the Special Reserve race 3 starts back where he lost to that horse, you can give him a little bit of an excuse because he was coming off a lengthy layoff.
Yeah, it was off the layoff. I suppose that could be factored in there. But he was no match for Special Reserve that day. The one time they tried a grade 1 with him, he was no match again. You know, I get it. It was a shorter sprint last time, and he was on the outside. I didn't really see his excuse that day either. He's got a lot of speed from the rail. We'll see how they decide to use it.
Trainer John Ortiz has done a fine job with the number 2 Mucho, who was grade 1 placed as a 2-year-old, and there were very high hopes for this horse. Just didn't pan out. Ortiz claimed him for $80,000 2 races ago, turned him into a stakes winner. Let's watch this race at Pimlico. He just found the right spot in here, and he got a good trip sitting just off the pace. He's going to attack them in the stretch, and he goes on to win with an 88 buyer. That 88 buyer in between a couple of 95s and stakes placing. So we know he can run fast, and he has a versatile running style, Mike. If it's fast, he can come from behind.
Yeah, I think all those things are true. I think he's a pretty interesting horse in here if you're looking for, you know, a bigger price. He just did what he had to do there. You know, I guess his the 2 races surrounding it, Dan, where he just missed, I mean, I guess he ran well in both of them. Personally, I didn't see the excuse either time, but he ran well enough to be competitive in both of those starts.
Maker is so great claiming horses and moving them forward. Just look at Special Reserve's form. What about Endorsed, a horse that always had hinted at some sort of potential earlier in his career, first with Kieran, then with Bill Mott. Maker dipped in and got him for $100,000 2 starts back. This horse just missed to Just Might last time out at Churchill Downs. He's going to be running late.
Yeah, he is, and maybe he'll get a setup here. I've been a fan of this horse, Dan, and he's kind of lost me. I've you know, a few starts back, I just decided I'd had enough of Endorsed. I didn't want to bet him anymore. The Maker claim makes him interesting in some ways, but man, when you go back and watch that most recent start, he had a great chance there because Just Might, I thought anyway, did all the hard work up on the lead, and Endorsed still couldn't get to him.
4 wins in a row for Just Mike, 2 on turf, 2 on dirt. He's got excellent early speed and competitive buyer speed figures. You look at his last race, he did get a nice setup, Mike, when he beat Endorsed. He went to the front, he kind of backed down the fractions. Maybe Endorsed was compromised a bit by that pace. He was running at the end, though, Just Mike.
He was. I sort of looked at the race differently. I felt like Just Might did all the hard work there. He did get to the lead in there, but they took him on pretty early. He had to contest it with several different horses and fought them all off. I just thought he ran really well to win last time, and maybe better than it looks. You mentioned it's 4 wins in a row with 2 of those coming on turf, but it's also 4 dirt wins in a row for this horse. They, for whatever reason, they have been very reluctant to run this horse on the main track, but the 2 times he got rained off prior to those last 2 stakes wins, easy wins with buyers of 99 and 101.
Here's an up-and-comer, the 5 Aloha West, who's won 3 of his last 4 starts, including this victory at Saratoga, going 7/8 of a mile. He sat just off the early lead. He pounces on the outside in the stretch, and he's on his way, and he got a fig, a 1:02 Beyer speed figure. He was entered last week in the ACAC. This seems like a better spot.
I think it does too. This is a real dangerous horse in this race too. It does feel like he's getting better with every start. And in this win here, he actually sat closer to the pace because prior to that, he had sort of been a one-run closer. Showed more tactical speed there, took a big step forward. Even the loss, Dan, 3 back when he was behind Mucho on the Kelly's Landing, I thought this horse ran great that day with really no chance to win.
Special reserve was claimed by Maker for 40 in February. 3 starts after that, he beat Mucho in the Maryland Sprint. Then he beat Quick Tempo in the Iowa Sprint. And then he ran this big race in the Vanderbilt last time out. Let's watch that race. And again, folks are going to say, listen, Lexingtonian's 1,000,000 to 1. Special reserve has to pass him. Special reserve ran well. He was in a 3-wide chase, pretty much pushing the pace all the way around the turn into the stretch. He does poke ahead in front. And Lexingtonian, a lot of people forget, when he's feeling his oats, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, if you just look at Lexingtonian on paper, and there was certainly a reason, I guess, why he was 34 to 1 in there, Dan, because he doesn't always show up. But when he does show up, he's pretty good. And that was the 3rd consecutive Grade 1 race that Lexingtonian had run in, and he ran well in all of them. So at first blush, I think you wanted to be disappointed in Special Reserve. But I think as time has gone on, I think it's pretty easy to feel like he actually ran pretty well last time. He just happened not to win.
And he finished ahead of Firenze Fire, who would come back to run second in the 4-go with a 1:02 Beyer. Sir Alfred James completes the field as we take a look at our top picks for this race. Sir Alfred James, I don't know. I respect Special Reserve a lot. I respect these horses. I'm not sure these are true, Breeders' Cup Sprint types. I'm curious to see what we get from Sir Alfred James, who is stakes placed for Al Stall 2 and 3 back. So Al dropped him in for 62.5 last time out, even though he still had, I had to run him for 62.5, no conditions remaining. He was big that day, not only from a Beyer speed figure standpoint, but he went to the lead. He fended off pressure, and he kept on going. I like this outside post for him. It gives Corey Lannery the options to see what's going on to the rail. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I think he might be okay at a price.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. This horse is pretty good. It does feel like that maybe there are some issues that have compromised this horse because he's got a big pedigree and he debuted for a $50,000 tag. And then they, of course, went in for the price last time as well. But he's good. When he's feeling good on his best day, I think he is a player in here, and he did run a big race last time.
Special reserve, though, the horse to beat, Mike, that's where you're going. You're taking the 6. You like Aloha West maybe to complete the exact as I do.
Yeah, they were the 2 that I liked the most. I mean, maybe I could have put Aloha West on top. I just feel like he's not going to be a great price in here, and he might have a little bit more to prove than Special Reserve does.
6547 for Mike, 7562 for me, and the Grade 2 Phoenix on opening day at Keeneland. Good luck.